on the novice, at the novice level, like you're able to add you have like 12 points to add skills with, but we don't have to do that because these characters are already created.
Okay.
But the ones in red are the ones that everybody gets. And you can choose to raise them or not. But you can't raise a skill beyond what your ability.
Where you already have, yeah.
So like if you have a skill that's tied to smarts and your smarts is only a D6, you can't raise that skill level to a D8 without spending more points or without first raising smarts to D8. Does that make sense?
Okay, cool.
You guys, I feel so joyful that I actually know a couple things because
I had a feeling this was going to be your time to shine.
maybe not shine, but I at least have a vague clue about these things. So. My steampunk space whale adventure only has 1 or 2 episodes left. So.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Ooh, I have a chainsaw. Cool. Ooh, and a vibro longsword.
So the Rifts setting is in the same quote unquote multiverse as the Palladium fantasy setting. So there's a lot of overlap. That's why there's ley line walkers, because ley lines feature kind of prominently in most of the settings and so on. And there's all just kind of like interaction between the worlds and what have you. So
I'm seeing a lot of discussion about the Techno Wizard online. But I can't find another PDF of this, of archetypes.
yeah, I'm kind of bummed because I actually paid for those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they weren't like free downloads or whatever, which that would have been one thing, but let me see. Techno Wizard, Savage Worlds, Archetype.
I'd otherwise be Mystic, but all of a sudden I'm looking at her and she's just Phoenix. So I'm gonna not go down that road.
I'm a mystic. What's the one you're looking for?
Techno Wizard, and I just looked and it's not in there. I was trying to see if maybe, even if as a fan thing, somebody decided to make one like that, but sadly not.
I mean, yeah, they even listed it in the ad from the 90s. Maybe it's just the Savage version doesn't have it.
Maybe. Well, but I mean, it's specifically, let me see. I'm gonna look one more time and see if there was some kind of a issue.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
there is a blank sheet.
No. That sounds crazy. I'm going to be Wilderness Scout. Duke Phil.
Okay.
He looks like a big old buddy. I wonder if the Techno Wizard was replaced by the Operator.
You know, I think that's exactly what happened, come to think of it. And that's really obnoxious because there is a lot, like if you drew a Venn diagram of Operators and Techno Wizards, there'd be a lot of, like it would be an oval. But there's a lot that's missing from here because it's like you can't, they're not exactly the same thing, and it's kind of a bummer that they would do that. That's exactly what it is, because they didn't list operator. That makes me a sad panda, because as you could tell when I wrote that email, I love Techno Wizards. I think I still have like 3 character sheets of 3 different Techno Wizards that I made for the old version of this game.
No worries. I was stoked though, because the Techno Wizard is essentially how I describe like a group of people and characters in this short story I'm working on.
Right on. All right. Well, so I know we're kind of let me see. I know that it's kind of funky today, like we don't have Andrew, and we're like kind of getting our bearings with all of this. So this is going to be kind of the training wheel session, if you will, if y'all are willing to bear with me on that.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
But let's see. Feel free to get yourselves familiarized with your characters. A lot of it is just going to be rolling dice, but obviously your characters all have some rather potent abilities, whether they're kind of more in the social or exploratory sphere or the just pure badass sphere. So get to know those so that you don't feel bad afterwards of being like, oh, I could have totally used this power and it would have like I did last Friday after one of the players got killed in a game that I actually get to play in. And we fought, must have been like wraiths, I think. Somebody got wraithed to death.
Ah,
You know what? Yeah, I am going to be the operator.
That works for me.
I'm just reading the 2.
BL Juice.
I'm Seamus, your video's frozen.
Whose video's frozen?
Seamus's.
Oh. Ever since I've gotten this new rig, I feel like I've had a much better time with my video and everything. So I'm glad so far. So far, so good.
Ish, what's the ISP?
Oh, ISP is what they call inner strength points. Basically, it's your like psionic points. So that's what you're going to use to then cast psionic abilities. Mystics are really cool because they get to do both psionics and magic, but then that kind of is like 2 layers of complexity of being able
That's what I'm looking at here.
Let's see. And sorry, I'm still messing around with a few things. All right. The map is more or less set. That we're not actually going to have to worry about that for quite a while. I don't really think that we'll end up using the map for much because a lot of the I don't know, some people it seems like people play it differently with Savage Worlds. Some people do it like, oh, there's very specific distances between people, or you could do it with either you're in melee, you're near, and you're far, and those are the kind of three distances. Which I like that actually, because it's a little bit more abstract and you're not counting squares or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, what about how do like actions and are there like reactions or bonus actions or anything? How does
No.
like
You really just go in the order of the cards.
Mhm.
okay? Oh, that's right. You draw cards every time.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's not the same order for the whole combat. It's the same player, like everyone's involved and everything gets dealt and you do that round. And then another hand gets dealt and the hands keep getting dealt from the same deck until you get a joker or you finish the deck when all the cards go back in.
Okay. Cool.
But I mean, and I don't know the specific rules of these things. Like usually you can like move, like the rules about moving are not although pace does come into play sometimes. You
Okay.
usually like move and do something. And the same rules are, or at least in my other game, are true that like if you move away from someone, they have an opportunity attack.
Okay. So you do like a movement and attack
Yeah,
or something.
you can get like there can be an opportunity attack against you if if you physically move away from someone you're fighting with.
Okay. And vice versa, do we get opportunity attacks?
Yes, and we have gang up bonuses and stuff like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, like if three of us surround whatever, an orc, then we get a gang up bonus. So I think it's like +2 on our rolls or something.
Okay. Starting to make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it really is fairly straightforward and intuitive. I laugh, like Wade always says, it's so simple. It's not so simple. It's just as complicated as anything else. But whatever, if he wants to believe that, that's fine. But like anything else, once you get used to it, like it is fairly, easy to pick up.
Okay. So I got my rail gun, right? And then the damage is 2d10 plus 2 MD.
I don't know what MD is.
MD up here.
That might be unique to this game.
Okay.
But so every time you use that, you're using like shooting as your roll.
Okay. But then I have ROF, AP, 20 shots. That makes sense.
Yeah. Rounds of fire.
Rounds of fire. Okay.
AP would, if I'm not mistaken, stand for armor piercing.
Yeah,
Okay. Ooh, this thing's badass.
it is.
Yeah.
But I have to be, it's like a ranged weapon, so I have to be 30, 60, or 120 feet away. At least
Yeah.
30 feet away, I guess I should say. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and the range increments are really important because out to 30 feet, there's no penalty. Out to 60 feet, I want to say it's like -2, and out
Okay.
to whatever 90 feet, I think is what you said, is like -4.
Okay.
So like I said, ranged combat is almost its own animal, because even though it's much easier to hit because you're not like trying to, there's no skill involved in your opponent trying to like avoid it, but it's more like how hard is it for you to line up this shot and make it with cover and distance being factored in.
So
Okay.
is there anything we do to the character sheets, or they are what they are and they're used as a reference?
They're static and they're used as a reference, but what I would encourage you to do, if you want to just run whatever that character is, and be like, this is my character, this name, this personality that they've written up. Or if you want to make up your own, as far as like who that person is versus like the numbers that are on the character sheet, I would encourage you to do that if that's what you want to do. If you're like, no, I want to think tonight, then just go with whatever's on the sheet, whatever is fine by me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna change my name for the most part. Ron Borg.
Ron Borg.
Herbie.
Ron Burgundy.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, even better.
This dude called into my office today, and his name was something Borg. I don't want to give it away. Are we streaming?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so yeah, but I'll say it's Ron Borg, but his email address was no shit like ronborg@ronborg.org. I was like, that's awesome. I was like, that's gonna be my name tonight for sure.
Ronborg.org.
It was awesome.
I hope he has like business cards that say resistance is futile.
Like, right? God, I hope so.
Blah 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 blog.
Right? Oh, this is a perfect name for riffs.
Oh my god. All right. How about the rest of you? Like, I guess this would be a good time to kind of introduce yourselves as characters, as kind of personalities.
Okay, I'm Beat L Juice. I come from the sewers of Old Vegas, and here to get on the Tomorrow Legion. Join the Tomorrow Legion after my brother's been in a lot of scuffles with the law. Here to avenge him.
Excellent. I love it. And I didn't mean to cut you off. Was there any more?
No, I'm sorry. I just fired from the hip there.
No, fantastic.
You're from the sewers of Vegas.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
why
dude.
are you part of the Tomorrow Legion? Sorry.
Because my brother has been in a lot of scuffles with the law and also some shady characters. Just one of those street folk that steals and gets in trouble, and I'm trying to find him and bring him back.
And I apologize. Y'all are gonna get tired of me sneaking over to my bookshelf and grabbing stuff because that seems to be all I do anymore.
Oh, I guess I'll tell you what I am. I'm a Ron Borg. I'm a combat cyborg. Nice to meet you guys. I kind of like making money and I like fighting, so I joined up with the Tomorrow Legion to help them out and make a little cash. And yeah, I can barely remember who I was when I was a human, but it's okay.
So you're a mercenary cyborg soldier.
Mm-hmm. Combat cyborg.
So, oh shoot, slammed into my table over here. So there's the New West. There's a lot of detail about kind of like the West in Rifts, and how it's like it really is like this no man's land of outlaws and banditos and robot horses. If you've ever watched the cartoon Brave Star, it's a lot like that actually, which is hilarious. And there's some problematic elements to it because it was something from the 90s and they go over some Native American stuff and it's not super great, but like the stuff that isn't that is actually pretty interesting and neat and cool, of like just having this kind of techno apocalypse Wild West. And that part of it I can jive with. But all right.
I might have seen this show actually.
Brave Star?
Yeah, it looks familiar.
That was like one of those things where it was probably one of the last like dorky cartoons that I would watch in the mornings before school when that was still a thing to do. And that was like when I was, I don't know, 10, but like Brave Star, it was supposed to be the successor to He-Man. It's like, all right, He-Man kind of, it ran its course. now we're going to do something different. Everybody's all about space because of Star Wars. Everybody's like obsessed with technology and kind of this, futuristic stuff. So we're going to do Brave Star. And I mean, I give them a lot of credit because I think they tried really hard with the premise. And they were trying to be, I guess it was like the beginning of like cartoons trying to be more inclusive, but it was certainly one of the goofiest fucking cartoons I think I've ever seen.
He's got like
even-
a horse sidekick with robot legs.
Yes, named 3030.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, like it's one of like it's if you think He-Man is like goofy and cringy and kind of hard to watch sometimes, like Brave Star is probably twice as much.
Dell definitely watched this. That is gotta be where that came from.
It's one of those where if you just want to sit down and like laugh at how like wacky a cartoon is, that's a good one. That one and the 90s RoboCop cartoon, which why they thought to make a cartoon for like what's his face Verhoeven movie, I'll never understand.
R-rated.
It makes zero sense. Like a movie where dudes get shot in the junk, and we're gonna make a cartoon out of it. I have no clue why, but
Joel Kinnaman is RoboCop in the new reboot, and I can't bring myself to try to see it because I love that guy. And I can't imagine it was super good because the reboot of Judge Dredd, and I understand people love it. I just thought it was so extra and really just.
That's what made it the best.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it didn't have as much Rob Schneider as the first one, but
I'm fully aware too that it's also because the Sylvester Stallone Dredd is so beloved to me, and I just thought it's like farcity and like comic meets action sensibilities were just so on point. I can't remove myself from it, but I also don't
actually
know
remember
that
I got to watch that at
outside
your
of
dad's
that
house the
movie.
first time, Seamus.
What's that?
I got to watch that movie at your dad's house for the first time.
I am the law.
Well, oh my God. So I'm sorry. I blame you for this, both of you. But there's this really good Onion article from like way back in the day where it's this completely satirical, like the Supreme Court justices discussing like the merits and flaws of the death penalty. And it's like just so goofy, and they're like, well, is the death penalty not going far enough? Like, can we be more brutal about this? And just complete satire, because that's, back when satire was still alive and not a corpse in the ground. You could do things like that. You could say things like that, and people would understand that you were being satirical, because that was actually what satire meant back, 15 years ago. But there's this bit in the whole article where they talk about how one of the Supreme Court justices said I am the law, and then they all start saying it, like the stenographer like records them all saying it over and over.
Did any of you catch a recent John Oliver where they talk about the 90s show that was on for like a half a season, and it's called Cop Rock?
Yeah. I mean, I remember Cop Rock. I didn't see the John Oliver thing.
Fuck. Wow. Like it was, pre NYPD Blue, and Law and Order, early Law and Order, but it's sung and in musical form, and it is bananas.
I can't even.
I mean, I just think back to old shows like Hill Street Blues, 21 Jump Street. To me, those were like the proto the PD Blue, all of that business. But I get these like TV flashbacks of just like dumb shit that should never have been on TV, and yet somehow was. Like what is it? Is it called Small Miracle? It's like the little robot girl I don't know if you guys remember that.
No.
But
Something tickled my brain when you said that, but I don't know. I don't.
I'll look it up because it's such a goofy, like all of these things are such goofy premises. Small Wonder. Yeah, Small Wonder.
Yes.
And you're gonna see it and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yep. I do.
And it was this era, I think, that was kind of like this weird like Alf overlap where people were sick of just like your run-of-the-mill sitcoms and they were trying to make them like goofier and crazier. And I want to say this and Alf were kind of the culminations of that. Kind of like how if you remember the soap opera Passions, I feel like that was the soap opera version where they're like, no, soap operas are boring. They're just about normal shit. Like, you know, secret twins and like people who didn't die in plane crashes and alien abductions. No, we need to go a step further. We need Satan. We need witches. We need like I don't know how that show hasn't gotten a reboot yet because I feel like now is the time. It was kind of ahead of its time.
Well, you know, one of the first serial soap operas of all time was Dark Shadows, which was in like I want to say the 50s or 60s maybe.
I think you're completely correct on that. And this is where I say
vampires. There was all vampires.
British TV has always been like 10 or 15 years ahead of American TV because yeah, they knew where it was at, and I think the British audience was ready for it. And they would show it here, and people had no idea what to do with it. If I remember correctly from having read about it, I wasn't around for any of that. But and then they did a Johnny Depp movie about it, and I think that is now more obscure than the TV show.
Yeah, probably.
Is
Jen let in Luscious.
Oh, sorry.
And sorry, Travis, were you going to say something?
No, just for Luscious is trying to get in.
Oh.
what's the password?
Guys, I am absolutely shocked we don't have a glitter boy.
I know.
Well, Andrew was going to be the glitter boy, and I was curious to see because he said he was confused by the premise of the glitter boy versus what he actually read about it. So I was curious to see what his take on it.
Oh, really? I thought the glitter boy just sounded like Iron Man kind of, and I was like, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean,
my glitter boy
Mac.
Yeah, it really is just, it doesn't fly, but it's just this giant armored dude armor that's like about 18 foot tall, 12 foot tall. I forget. I have to look at it. There's actually a really detailed diagram in the old books of like, this is how it works. And like, this is the interior. It's crazy. It's got like 3 pages just for the interior kind of.
Whoa.
Anyways.
Is it, and it's just a robot? Or is there someone in it?
You're right. In fact, I mean, again, you guys are going to get sick of me doing this, but I'll show you because I have the books.
In retrospect, I probably should have been a wilderness scout.
Right?
So, like, here's the glitter boy.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is just what it is. And it's got
Gundam.
Yeah, exactly.
Big time.
basically, but I mean, it's not quite as big as a Gundam.
Yeah.
It's got a gun that shoots like sonic speed bullets, which is why it's called a boom gun. And it does like the most damage of anything in the game. Like it will rip apart tanks, it will tear dragons up. Like it is the most powerful thing you can wield. So yeah, there's this whole, and like none of this is gonna really make sense to you, but like this whole like diagram, like this is all of the stuff that comes into like being a glitter boy. That's 2 pages.
I was actually picturing like a juicer, a Ziggy Stardust when I first heard about the glitter boy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. I was like, glitter boy sounds awesome, but it also in my head sounded way more awesome when I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like Joseph in his Technicolor Dreamcoat or something like that.
What did you decide to be, Luscious?
I went as a mind melter named Terry.
Terry.
Yeah, Terry.
Nice. My name's Ron.
Oh, nice, nice. Terry's blind, by the way, guys, so he's gonna need a lot of help.
Did he melt his eyes instead of someone's mind?
Well, it's hard to say. He just woke up one day, couldn't see.
Huh.
He has a lightsaber though.
He was playing with fireworks, and one thing led to another.
As they do.
He spent too much time with his oh God, what was the BB gun called on the Christmas Story?
The
Oh,
Red
The
Rider.
Red
The
Rider.
Red Rider. He
Yeah.
spent too much time with his Red Rider.
Oh yeah.
It just sounds like a bad euphemism.
Put
So,
your eye
yeah.
out.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, I haven't introduced mine. I'm Maynard McConney. I'm a veteran of the Tolkien War, excuse me. Front
I
lines,
did that earlier.
front lines of the siege of Tolkien. I've probably seen more action than I've seen restful nights. One thing that always grinded my gears about the war and their general position on offense and defense was it was so heavily reliant on magic. But little do they know that I could make machines that appear to be walking out of the ley lines themselves. They're so advanced.
And what's your character's name?
Maynard McConney.
Okay.
And there's nothing I can't take apart, rebuild, make better, and crush with.
And by the way, y'all, we have 3 people in the chat watching us. So I think the fact that we're doing Savage Worlds, I think, got people curious and interested.
So, Luke, what is Terry?
Terry's a mind melter. One day he was playing with fireworks with his cousins out in the wasteland and lost his vision because of a bottle rocket. And the next day he was able to hear people's thoughts.
it was a radioactive bottle rocket.
Yeah. Well, he might have stepped into a swamp. We don't really know what happened to Terry. The last thing he remembered is hearing his cousin yell, "Oh Lord, Terry, what are you doing, Terry?" And that's the last thing he saw.
Okay. Am I missing one so far? We've had Beetlejuice, Ron Borg, Terry, and Maynard McConney.
I think just you.
Yeah, it's you.
Okay. Well, oh, Beetlejuice is Travis. Okay. All right. I'm just using the one that exists. But her name is Tomiko Yuko, and she's a mystic. Sorry, my name is Tomiko Yuko. I'm a mystic. Trained in Laszlo, and is kind of like believes in fighting for something bigger than herself, but is very smart and like figures things out and notices things very well, and is able to use both magic and the ley lines, and like kind of is able to use all of the different mystic stuff. Has a cosmic confluence of both kinds of magic, of the psionic and the magic. So she's that. And yeah, that's about it for now.
She seems super buffy,
Yeah, pretty much, right? And
healing.
like definitely trained, you know, and is part of the Tomorrow Legion because absolutely believes in restoring things to be better than they are.
Absolutely. And it's possible that I may have pounded this concept into the ground as I kind of told you all, or maybe not. But kind of the point of the setting is that it's been 300 years since the cataclysm. That's what they call it. The day of cataclysm was when there was a war that took place in South America. There was a nuclear exchange, which then triggered a greater nuclear exchange, and so on. This game was written when the Cold War was still a thing. But anyways, this was like in the near future of our time. So this was like 2106 or I don't know, something like that. And so this nuclear exchange, like, basically caused untold mass death. And what people didn't realize at this time, this is like the editorialized, like, this is how the history of this game went. Like, this is not, oh, this is what would happen if nuclear exchanges would happen. So like, just, this is the goofy, like, gonzo part of the game. But because of all of these mass deaths, their psychic energy was released and flooded the ley lines of the world, which then had this kind of cyclical positive feedback loop of creating these magical storms, which then killed more people and released more energy until the world was flooded with so much magical energy that it went back to this kind of primordial state where magic was powerful once again, where it had been muted for most of our modern lives. And things were crawling in through other dimensions. Magic was vibrant and free once more. And the entire civilized world was shattered, basically spending the next 300 years just trying to crawl its way back up from all of this violence and magical mayhem. And we're at modern day now, where the world has not yet been reconquered by any one faction. There's humans of different stripes and so on that kind of govern the different parts of the world, but also there are supernatural elements that have control. One such supernatural element is the demonic incursion of St. Louis. St. Louis was one of the nexus points of ley lines that seem to have connected to the world of Hades. It's not a permanent connection, but it kind of bloops on and off and brings more demons as it does. And it is one of the most dangerous places in North America, if not all of the world currently. And I bring this up because you have been asked to go to the outskirts of St. Louis. To elaborate on that, the Tomorrow Legion is not especially friendly with the Coalition States. The Coalition States is kind of like the most technologically advanced and possibly the most powerful human nation on North America, again, if not the world. But unfortunately, they don't play nice with magic, and they don't play nice with supernatural beings, which is basically anything that's not human. So they don't tend to really play terribly well with the Tomorrow Legion, who is a lot more inclusive than the Coalition States would be. It would be fair to call the Coalition States fascist, because that's exactly what they are. That's not a gray area. Coalition States are fascist, but they are such a force in the world that it's difficult to do anything without eventually having to deal with them, to parlay, to kind of have to, trade with them in some means or fashion. And what has happened here is that the Coalition States apparently have lost a transport with a VIP on board, very close to St. Louis. It's about the worst thing that could happen. And they want your group to go and perform this rescue operation. So this is like, forgive me if anyone's watching and knows more about this than I do, but basically like an administrator or senator from within the Coalition States and his family is out in the outskirts of St. Louis, possibly surrounded by a demonic force. And when I say force, like group of monsters and so on. And the Coalition States are In a rare show of restraint, too worried to send an army out there because they don't want to march an army across several state lines, so to speak, just to get this guy back and trigger another war. They want you, your group, because you're so varied, because you have the ability to deal with a myriad of different threats, to go and retrieve this person and potentially just avoid any kind of further tragedy. Hopefully
They're
you're
gonna pay us.
Oh, absolutely. The hazard pay on this is monumental. You each stand to gain about 150,000 credits, which should set you up in a relative leisure for quite some time.
Sounds good to Ron.
So the guy missing is a senator?
Yes.
Oh, so we're saving politicians.
It's not ideal, but you are getting paid a lot to do it.
All right.
They've identified this gentleman as Tevis Francois Jr. And they don't really say much about his family. They just say, if you can save his family, please do. But if you only can save him, if it comes down to that, that is the primary mission. And they don't really say so, but the implication is that he may have some state secrets that they don't want getting out.
Okay. And do we know any? I'm still driving, so I can't really do much playing. But
No.
do we know anything about this Francois Jr.? Like what? Like I guess. I mean, I have this feeling that we're in like this post-apocalyptic world of kind of corruption. Do we know him as being a kind of corrupt person?
Hold on.
Not sure why that matters. We're getting paid to kill people. It's fine.
So sorry, I'm trying to make the noise levels around here. Anyhow, so yeah, to your question, you don't know. It would be like if I said whoever was like the senator from, let's say Montana. I don't know who that is off the top of my own head. And you wouldn't know who this guy is either. Like it's not a name that's like, oh, that guy. It's not a, it's not a Bernie Sanders or a whatchamacallit. And oh my God, give me 1 second because I've got a call from work. I'm so sorry.
Could be
No,
the
you're
guy
good.
behind the guy behind the guy.
Luscious, I have a chainsaw.
What? Wait, what are you?
Combat cyborg.
Oh yeah, you changed yours. I thought you were a techno wizard for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have the sheet for it, so I was like, I just picked somebody else.
Wait, there is a sheet. I'm very far behind.
It's just the archetype. Like you just use like the general sheets that he sent over.
I didn't even see those. Crap, I gotta check my emails when I get there. Because I was just like, I'm a blind guy that has psychic powers essentially, and a bow staff, and some levels of like, martial arts skills.
Oh.
I don't even know if I can. Huh?
That checks out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can do any of that. I was gonna have Ish just tell me no.
You're like Donnie Yen from Rogue One.
Yeah, essentially, but his name's Terry.
Okay, right.
When you say that, yes, exactly like that. God damn it.
We'll be right back, actually.
How are you, Seamus?
Good. How are you?
All right. You made me laugh a lot this weekend with your pictures.
Pictures of the perfect baby.
Yes, that was very funny. Oh my God. How is actual perfect baby with teething and stuff?
She's doing all right. She's pretty good. Sleeping longer at nights, sleeping the same in days during the days, which is not a ton.
Right.
we're on knives training right now before we move up to the big blades.
Oh.
I've been cut several times, but then again, so is she.
I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see her as a knife wielding baby.
Mm-hmm. She can't yet grasp it in between her teeth until a few more of them come through, but you know.
The pirate knife.
Oh. Travis, have you been able to not travel for a while, or are you still going back and forth?
No, I am back for good now.
Good.
I should just be doing maybe a couple of days a month going forward, but no. Been
Nice.
here, haven't traveled for work since the start of March, so I am
Do
glad
they-
for that.
Do you drive mostly, or do they send you? Do they
No, I-
fly you out to places afar?
Fly mostly.
I'll be right back. Ooh. Oh,
Look at this
me,
neat
bro.
card that came with my Scott Pilgrim book.
that's a
my
good
Scott
one.
Video game. Pilgrim and Ramona.
Have you played it yet?
No, still in
Ooh.
the package.
Nice. Do you guys watch Mortal Kombat this weekend at all?
No. Did you guys watch it?
Oh yeah, it is
Nice.
good.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
watch
saw
it
the
then.
last one at the drive-in, like the last Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh,
that was, like,
nice.
terrible and fantastic.
That's
right?
so fun to watch though.
That would be
Yeah.
good.
Exactly.
I definitely saw. I don't know if I saw Annihilation in theaters, but I definitely saw the first one. Yeah, it was just.
I need to watch them both again.
I want to see that. Bunch of stuff on the list. So you just see Godzilla versus King Kong.
Watch that too. Yeah, we did a double feature last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice. Damn, I should have made it over. Missed out.
Yeah, it's all good. Did you watch the Oscars?
Yeah, you know, COVID Oscars. It was fine.
Like what were even like the movies or
So like Nomadland was the big one, and that's on Hulu. And it's like about this like, like lady who just like works and lives everywhere. It looks pretty cool. I don't know. It looks real indie. And then the one that seems really cool is called Sound of Metal, and that's about this like metal drummer who starts like losing his hearing. It's like seems pretty intense, but like pretty cool.
Wow, I haven't heard of either of those.
I know.
Well, I mean, I haven't heard of anything
Yeah, exactly.
other than
Yeah,
the
they all came out on streaming.
King Kong and Mortal Kombat, and there was like one other thing that was happening like online, and people were talking about it. But like, I really am not even aware.
And then there was like the Disney movies, like Soul and Onward came out last year.
Right.
That's what Onward. I
Those were
couldn't
both
remember the
nominated, and then the Mulan was nominated for like costumes and stuff. So like there's some Disney stuff in there.
Wow.
Ooh, I gotta finish. I started the original Goofy movie there on Saturday.
Oh yeah,
That is good.
that's a classic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this documentary, My Octopus Teacher. I want to see that. That one won best
Oh my!
documentary.
So literally, not to be like corny. So that was one of Wade's and my first dates. Was we did like Netflix where you watch it from both houses.
Oh nice.
And we watched My Octopus Teacher, and we didn't know each other very well, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be weird, like whatever. It is so beautiful.
That's,
What
yeah,
the
it seemed
shit is
awesome.
it?
I mean, it is like
It's like this dude in South Africa becomes friends with an octopus. Basically, it
Yeah,
seems
like
like
he's a filmmaker, and it's nonfiction. He's a documentary filmmaker, and he starts going out to this same spot in the reef every day to observe this octopus that he's fascinated by. And so he literally has footage from over a year every day of this octopus. And I can't possibly convey to you how fucking poignant it ends up being about his relationship with the octopus. Like you end up on the edge of your seat, like because the
It looked
octopus
amazing.
get fucked up by this anemone or whatever. Like, I mean, it's really crazy.
Wow.
And
It's on
yeah,
Netflix too, so I'm like definitely gonna
Oh,
watch that.
yeah.
yeah. And it ended up being like kind of a moment with Wade because he'd been telling me how he hated everybody and he hated the world and he hated human beings and he hated stuff. And then I, of course, was a mess and like sniveling and crying watching this movie. And then the next day, he sent me a text and he's like, I think that movie affected me more than I thought. Because, you know, like I keep thinking about it and it made me think about my cat who died and all. And I'm like, really? So you don't hate the whole world, dude. Okay. Like, you know.
I love octopuses.
Did you see that, Seamus, the octopus movie?
Octopus movie.
My Octopus Teacher.
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's really good. I highly recommend it, y'all. All right.
Intelligent animals.
Oh, and then the other one was called Another Round, and that won best foreign film, and it's like about these like four friends who like test being drunk all the time.
The Mads Mikkelsen one.
Oh, I heard they're teachers, right?
Yeah.
I heard that was really interesting and not nearly as offensive as it sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
What's
Yeah.
this?
It's called Another Round.
Okay.
It won like the best foreign film. I think it's like Dutch or Danish. I think it's Danish.
My understanding is a group of teachers decide to try to stay sort of drunk all the
All the
time.
time.
Well, they drink during the day and only during the day. They drink during the times that they otherwise would have not drank. So like during work and during the day, and then they stop at the end of the night.
Does their life get better? Is it like microdosing for alcoholics or something?
That's what it seems like. Hard to
I
say.
mean,
I've
like
never
that-
seen it.
I pretty much have been doing that for 10 years. So
At
doing
least
all
on the
right.
weekends.
Yeah. It carries over for a couple days, I believe.
Oh yeah. Oh man. No. Stupid work call. So you're like, Travis, you're a street rat?
City rat, yeah.
Check these things out. Oh, you got a vibro knife? Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and an
In
Uzi?
the Uzi, exactly. Yeah.
That's
I'm
fucking.
excited about
This game was definitely written in the 80s.
that.
Right?
Oh man. Okay, so we all have these like kind of things too. You have cybernetics as well.
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry. So we're doing CMAS this week. This is kind of not a game thing, but like we're busing kids in for CMAS, and I'm the one who gets to drive them. So they were updating me on which kids are and are not coming, and so that was this whole conversation. But anyways, sorry, y'all.
No problem.
Ish gets to be Otto.
I should just like wear the headphones and the cut off jeans and
Otto likes to get blotto.
and I mean I do have a tattoo, so
There you go.
Were we still streaming?
yeah.
Oh, nice. So they got us a big dose of, we were talking about like good movie or like the Oscars last night. I'm glad they got to see that if they're still on.
I think it's still the same 3 people, unless we scared someone off. Oh, we scared them off. Okay. Oh well.
Damn it.
It was me.
All done.
It was me with my dumb word call. You all probably had a fine conversation about the Oscars.
That would have brought him back in.
So, and I apologize. That kind of got me out of my rhythm. But I was explaining the whole premise of what you all are up to. Does anyone have any questions? Like you have your handler, who is basically giving you the mission. Her name is Stella Stillwell. She's a goblin, but she's a very well dressed and well spoken goblin. And she's basically like managing all of the details for you. But if you have any questions, you can direct them towards her.
So we're going into the outskirts. How inhabited is the city itself with anybody or anything? Is it a wasteland, or is there just the type of folk you don't want to run into a dark alley scene?
Don't
So
worry, don't worry. I know him all. I'm real good with the streets.
So she says, well, nominally, there should be no living thing in the outskirts of these ruins. The demons tend to congregate towards the arches. But that being said, you can never be too careful. The most important thing to understand is that any attention you draw to yourself could very easily cause a deluge of demons to appear. They're very reactionary, and so any commotion you may cause will have them all swarming you like a hive of bees. So be very careful. And who's the glitter boy? Did anyone pick the glitter boy? That's out of character.
Andrew.
No.
Andrew.
Andrew was supposed to be a glitter boy.
Okay, because she was gonna give you a warning of like, in mind where you shoot that gun, because it
Big
really does
boom.
make loud noises. But she continues and just says, but with all of that being said, please be careful. We're not sure if the demons have already been alerted. A crashed transport is already quite a commotion. They may have sent someone to investigate. So be on your guard and make sure that everything goes as quietly as possible, and by extension, as well as possible.
How are we getting there?
You are being transported as well, but it's kind of like a parachute drop. So they're going to take you to within 50 miles of it, and then you have to like basically walk the rest of the way.
Okay. Sounds fun. Let's go.
Whee!
And I've got a lot of vehicle, prowess in terms of maintenance and whatnot. Do I have one, or do we happen upon it? How?
If you wanted to be dropped off with a vehicle, that'd be fun. They could like literally throw a parachute on it and just make sure that comes with you.
Just like Fast and Furious.
Yeah, exactly like Fast and Furious.
I am deathly afraid of heights, though. I'm just gonna close my
Are you-
eyes and hold on to the cyborg.
Are you the B.A. Baracus of this group?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I ain't getting on no plane. No.
All right. So, I mean, they're ready to send you off on this very dangerous mission unless anyone has any other questions.
Luscious is back.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay, and do we know what this guy looks like that we're trying to hunt down? Just like a senator?
They do give you a like kind of like a what do you call it? Like
Wanted
What's-
poster, a headshot.
not a wanted poster, but like a I want to call it like a 9x10 or something, but they give you like a good kind of snapshot of what this guy looks like. And he just
Okay,
looks like your Joe Average. In fact, let me see. He almost looks too average. Does somebody maybe want to make the first roll of the night? And give me, I'm looking at the skills, so I'll tell you what I think. Give me a notice check.
Well, I'm partially deaf in one ear.
Okay.
I have
This is a
not
sight.
good notice.
Unless you
I get
want to
plus
hear
one
the
notice,
photo.
and-
I just have a D6.
I get +2, so hold on.
Oh yeah, it distinctly spells out from hearing checks. Subtract -4 from all notice rolls made to you.
And don't forget, even if you're already rolling a D6, you get to roll another one.
So, yeah. Okay, so for example, I just rolled a 2 on my D6 and an 8 on my D8, so I can
Ooh.
keep rolling the D8.
Yeah.
And then I got a
Yeah.
2, so I got a 10, and then I have a +2 on notice rolls because I have the edge of alertness. So I just
Ooh.
got a 12 on that notice roll. Does that make sense to everybody?
That makes sense to me.
Yes.
Okay.
I
You
know
get to roll again because you maxed out. You
Yeah.
critted.
I know what deception is, Jen. It's fine.
Oh my God.
So this guy like on first glance, this guy looks like a standard human being. But I don't know if like if you personally, not your character, have ever seen those pictures that they're like, this human being doesn't actually exist, and they're like these weird amalgamate like pictures that are like we took 30 people and we combined their whatever, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
You're getting the sense that it's something like that. Like there's something, you don't want to say necessarily doctored about this picture, but there's something amiss. It's kind of like taking your uncanny valley senses.
Okay.
In the most likely scenario, this gentleman may have gotten plastic surgery at some point. It could be some kind of facial prosthesis, any number of things, but there's something about this that makes it seem a little fishy.
Okay.
And why did the coalition come to us with this job?
So the coalition, though they are very stolid about how they approach most things, they're like technology, human supremacy, that this is the way of the world. They also understand that there are things that technology can't solve all the time. And demons are kind of, they know a lot about how to kill demons, how to like exterminate and prevent them from coming back. They don't really know how to like infiltrate demonic lands because that's not their bag. They're never like, oh, we're going to quietly sneak into the demon's camp and steal something. No, they're like, we're going to carpet bomb the fuck out of them.
Okay.
Until there's no demon anymore. And so this is not something that they're really super great at doing. They have a lot of like, spec ops, wet, whatever, spy type, but their specialty is like other humans and even like magical kingdoms, not demons, because you can't send a group of like Navy SEALs into like a demon area and be like, oh, whoops, you caught us. But we're in disguise now. Like you can't really do that. And plus demons don't take prisoners, so that's a whole nother ball of wax, as it were. So that's why, hey, if you want to look at it this way, you are kind of expendable to them, which is not ideal.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, like if you die, well, we're out money. We're not out like soldiers and valuable training and valuable equipment, but also in at least a little bit more of an egalitarian way, they know that you know better how to deal with like supernatural forces in this kind of delicate way that they don't.
All right. Put me in, coach.
All right. So, presuming that you allow yourselves to go on the drop ship, they fly you out. They kind of do like a little boomerang motion and drop you off at the nadir of that curve. And you are out in the wilderness, just outside of the outskirts of what used to be St. Louis. And in fact, it's so close to St. Louis that you're basically in the ruins of the suburbs, but it's been 300 years. So most everything has been grown over. You might see like the bare remnants of like a 7-Eleven sign here, a track housing kind of area there. You might see like the very bare remnants of a road or like a light pole or something. But like for the most part, this place has like been reclaimed by nature. And you really only see like handfuls of things. What has not quite been reclaimed by nature for two very important reasons is the city itself, because it's just this giant concrete jungle, as it were, and because the demons have kind of prevented anything from growing. They both eat anything that happens to be organic within like a, you know, the 50-mile radius, and just their presence just kind of stagnates things. So there's not really like a vibrant, lush overgrowth of flora like it would be in another city that's been like reclaimed by nature. But as you start to get to what literally is this like line of demarcation, from like this kind of lush overgrowth into this barren concrete outland, you can tell that the demons in this area have been riled a little bit, and you see handfuls of them like kind of hanging out in pockets here and there. In fact, oops, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Do you all see the map that I have?
Yeah.
Are we on Roll20? Jesus, I'm behind.
There's a new one in the chat.
Would somebody do me a huge favor and throw that link out there again for Luke?
And sorry, Ish, I just noticed that you sent out these character sheets.
Archetypes.
So
Yeah.
I'm doing a
They're-
little studying at the same time.
They're static.
Yeah, no
they're,
worries.
they're just a reference, so you at least don't need to do anything to them. You just look it up.
Yeah, I didn't know all of what my character could do in general, so I'm kind of learning really quick.
And to that end, I want to ask, do we feel comfortable enough with this yet to do a combat? If we don't, I can save that for next week. Like we can continue on and just say that like
Trial
you
by
don't
fire.
fight.
Yeah, it's
What's
like
that?
any game. You learn as you play.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Let's do it.
Cool. I just wanted to give you the option of being like, let's like get more comfortable in our skin before we actually do a combat. But
We'll just throw the mind reader out there as bait. Figure it out.
Yeah.
You
You know, I know
blind.
you're gonna do that.
We'll never see it
Just keep
coming.
walking. We're right behind you.
And if y'all don't mind, this is one of my famous rectangles of death. So go ahead and put yourselves in that rectangle as you like. And you don't have to go crazy necessarily getting like a portrait of yourself, I guess.
I actually don't. I don't remember how to load a new picture.
Sorry, and this is my fault. I apologize. So
Did you put the rectangle on there already?
I put the rectangle on there. Do you guys see the map I'm looking at?
I don't think so.
No.
Looks
Weird.
like ours
Like a
looks like
land.
green and orange.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Oh, I know why. Sorry. I know why that's not showing up.
And how do we add a character and an icon to Roll20 if we don't have a character sheet in there?
That's my bad. I need to do that. And I'm doing that right now. And sorry, I'm just getting all of this done. And let's see. Seamus, I'm adding you first.
I'm looking at icon images, or do you have one already? Did you just?
I don't, but I can get one for you if you like.
I'm looking at them. I'll find one, I'm sure.
Oops. All right, Ron Borg, you've got a character sheet.
Your last name is Borg?
Oh yeah, Ron
Ellen-
Borg at ronborg.org.
.net.
Let's see here.
God, part of me wants to look up to see if that name is free.
Well, as per Ryan's backstory, it's not. That domain is Occupado.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take whatever. You know, like I guess I could copy this link. Copy link address here. I'll put it in the chat. This guy looks like Terminator.
Nice. And your journal. Save. All right. Slowly but surely, I'm getting all these on there. And then, so I've got Beat L Juice. I've got Ron Borg. I've got Seamus. Let's see.
I'm trying to find something that'll work. Oh, shit. What's the trick to doing the characters? How do you add the... God, you'd think I'd know because I've changed Andre's picture so many times.
Yeah, how do you do it? I can never remember.
You can, if you click on your character sheet, you got to go to edit. And then once you're in edit, it'll give you.
Okay.
Whoa, what? We can do that in the character sheets?
Yeah.
I'm so lost right now.
It's in like the thumbnail at the top there. It's right next to the chat and Roll20.
Oh, I thought it was the...
Looks like a newspaper.
Gotcha. Oh shit, I gotta change a lot. Oh, this is nice. I didn't know this was the thing. Okay. Learning a lot.
And ronborg.org. I'm not gonna stop thinking that's humorous for a while. That's fantastic. I love that icon.
Right?
Oh my God.
Oh wow. Ron Borg, did you pick that picture? That's badass actually.
Oh yeah, I did, but I can't see him. Oh, there it is.
I can't see anyone else's icon. Oh, yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm trying to upload mine.
Because nobody wants to play nice and put their icons in the rectangle of death.
Oh yeah.
Except for Tomiko.
Oh God, I just don't know how to edit anything. I'm so bad at this.
Are you supposed to do it again?
What do you? Oh yeah, so you open your character sheet, you go to edit, and then it'll give you the like upload
Oh,
picture.
yeah.
I can't like crop or anything on this image, can I?
I mean, you can if you open it in an in an image editing software. Like even MS Paint would let you do that.
I mean, all right.
Who's Super Negasonic? Is that you, Travis?
No, I think that's Tomiko, right?
Is that you, Jen?
Yeah.
Super Negasonic. What's her name?
Something Warhead.
Teenage
Yeah.
Warhead.
Teenage Warhead. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is she? I don't understand.
She's like an X-Men.
Oh,
X-Force.
I literally searched Savage Worlds Mystic, and that's what came up.
Nice.
That's cool though. No, she's
Badass character.
Like specifically, she's a character in one of the Deadpool movies. I think the first one, right?
Both. She's in both.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But she's really cool.
Well, good.
All right. So let's see. Actually. All right. So feel free to put your characters in the rectangle of death. I promise there's no cone of acid that's gonna totally screw you over. But you do see these. You're still this is still in the wilderness before you get to the concrete jungle. But these two weird like crystalline humanoid demons. They kind of look like the smaller versions of Doomsday from the Superman comics, but they kind of crawl up from the city of St. Louis, and it looks like they're interested in introducing you to clobbering time.
Sweet.
Pleasure to meet you.
Let's look at my
They're
character.
crystalline demons.
Yeah, how do I put my card back somehow?
I think you might just have to draw another one,
Okay, cool.
and I don't know how to
Usually
necessarily.
the cards get, how do I explain it? Like everyone should get a card. And I don't know how we get them.
So do you see kind of on the lower right, there's like the whole deck of cards?
Yeah, but I'm only seeing a 2.
Those
we
are ones
can
I've
draw
drawn.
them.
But if you hover, there's going to be like the top card. You can kind of make it pop out. You have to like kind of click on the card that like comes up from the deck.
And it says stealing card.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I don't know what I did.
But if you kind of hover over, it'll say like click to draw, drag, and deal.
No
Oh,
way.
no, click to draw, drag to deal. So you just click on the kind of top part, I guess, or I can draw it for you too. In fact,
We all
maybe
just need
that's
to
what
draw
it
a
is.
card.
Let me see.
I think you deal them.
Okay, so I will do that then.
Oh, I can draw it from that one. I can draw one card. Oh, I got a 2. I don't know what I've done.
And then
You have 2 cards.
Ron Borg, I'm giving you an extra, so just ignore the first one. The second one is your initiative.
Cool.
And am I mistaken? Like, because it's like 2 to ace and so on. Do face cards just have like an 11 value, or how does that work?
And should be just
It sounds like they're normal.
No, jacks are higher than 10s, queens are higher than jacks.
So it would be like 11, 12, 13.
Then
yeah, I
like
get it.
for suit, if you like get a tie with someone, it's for suits, it's the reverse alphabetical order.
There is something with suits, and I can't remember exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's
So,
just
like-
the quality of the suit is just reverse alphabetical. So like a spade.
Spade.
What is it? Spade, club. Jesus. Okay.
Heart,
Yeah. Spade's higher than the
Yeah.
heart.
diamond.
Diamond.
So it'd be
club. Yeah.
spade, heart, diamond, club. Yeah.
All right.
So I think this 10 of hearts is mine. But I'm not
That's-
sure.
That sounds right. So because this is different than what we're all used to, I'll just add you all to the initiative order. And let's see, Luke, what is your character's name?
Terry.
Terry. So what is Terry's initiative? What card did you draw?
I drew multiple cards actually, but I'll go with the lower one. It's a 8 of spades.
All right. And then let's see, Ron Borg, what is your card?
10 of clubs.
All right. And then what was, Tomiko, what was your 10?
Of hearts.
So you go before. And then beat L Juice, what did you get?
6 of spades.
All right. And then one of these two nasty customers is last. Because all he has is a lousy deuce. All right. So
Oh, yeah.
I think that's it. Oh wait, no. Who is our operator? What is their name?
I'm trying to draw and I can't. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
I've clicked to draw.
Are you on the right layer? I guess you wouldn't have layers. Sorry.
There we go. King of
Got it.
clubs.
Oh, you said draw. I thought you meant. Never mind. King of spades. So that should put you ahead of
King of
this.
spades, yeah.
Ahead of this crystal demon. So that's good. All All right, did I miss anyone? I don't think I did, but just to double check. All right. So, and Seamus, sorry, remind me your character's name.
Maynard, I updated it.
Cool. Cool. All right, Maynard. So it is you go first. You've got the initiative on these things. They've kind of crawled up to cause mayhem. What would you like to do? They're just like knocking fists together, and they're looking like they're here for a brawl. It's pretty unequivocal.
I will so in the chat I just sent a link to the kind of the image of the vehicle that was parachuted with me.
Cool.
Comes collapsed, so I'm going to use MacGyver to improvise it, to unfurl it.
Okay.
And I'm going to take some of the components I typically use for mobility, and it takes my entire turn to invoke this MacGyver action. So I will take some of the components that are used for the maneuverability that can be kind of retrofitted to enhance and mount my NG super laser pistol.
Okay. That works. And I presume that is what you were doing for the turn.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Maynard, you managed to kind of like,
and I kind of say cover me or whatever, you know?
Yeah. You kind of like Inspector Gadget this car out into its full size and attach the laser pistol. So now we get to the first one, which, if I'm not mistaken, is this gentleman right here. And let's see. My guess is that Ron Borg is probably the toughest guy here by just general appearance. Would that be fair to say?
I would think so.
So this thing kind of hops. So it leaps, and then it leaps again, and it just gets right back here and takes an attack on Ron Borg. And then so these guys are tough, but they're not. I know there's a term for this. They're not like really tough. They're basically minions, so they don't get the wild dice like you do. But some enemies get the wild dice. Let's see what this does. All right, so it's moving its fist. It's going to hit you or try to hit you with a 5. Ron Borg, what is your parry?
6.
All right, so you just put up your large armored forearms, and with a loud metallic thunk, the punch just slams right into your metallic form, and your joint servos lock into place, and you are not in the least bit budged. So that was an impressive block. Now we go to Tomiko.
Okay. Tomiko is going to now. This is what I don't understand. How do I use the PPE and the ISP? Like, so I want to use my stun thing, and it says 2 PPEs and it's smarts. So I think I'm just rolling my smarts with the D6.
That sounds about right. And I believe that you then have points that you then kind of mark off, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to use your PowerPoint, like you only get a certain number of PowerPoints, but I'm not sure how many are here. All right, so.
And as a reminder, this might be old hat to you, but if you have like points that you can use, you can trade bennies for like 1 Benny for 5 points.
Right. So I rolled a 6, which should be, so in this game, I don't know if it's true in your game. Usually like a 4 is successful,
Mm-hmm.
just barely, and then anything more than that is more.
Yes.
So she got a 6 on the stun. And it's 2 PPE, and I don't know how to take those off or how to.
That's the unfortunate part. I'm sure that would just be a notation somewhere. So if you want to like open a little word pad, or if you want to like just write it down on a sticky note.
I'm
or
going to
whatever.
put it in the chat.
Perfect. And then let me think. Okay, which one did you want to stun?
The one right closest to me. So that guy. My card deck won't let me get to your map.
Oh shoot. I think if you click on the
Press the-
card that's
yeah.
above your name, that'll close it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's not. When I click on the card, it puts the card in the center of the room for me, but it doesn't.
Getting a lot of music coming through.
Oh, sorry, that's me.
Jurassic Park soundtrack.
I haven't listened to anything else in 13 years.
Anyway, the crystalline thing in the box is the one that I'm attacking.
Yes, and that's okay. I went ahead and gave it the little notation that it is stunned. Regrettably, I don't know what stunned means. Does that mean that it cannot act?
It means no. It means that it has to shake. It has to unshake to be able to move again.
Cool. That works. Then that's going to be fantastic because you're basically just using up its ability to act. I don't imagine there's anything else that you can do, so we're going to move over to. Is that right, Jen?
That,
Are you
as far as I know, yeah.
Because it feels different. I'm like, you use your bonus action, have you? But no.
There's none of that. You just do like one thing.
Ron, you have expertly deflected the attack. Now it is time for you to go on the offensive. What will you
All
do?
right.
Ronnie.
Whip out my built-in vibro longsword since this guy is so close.
Ooh, a vibrant
Um,
longsword.
Bingo. So I get strength plus D10 MD. So what do I roll? A D10?
Correct.
All right. Just one though.
And don't forget to also roll the d6.
Brutal. Oh yeah, and the D6.
You always roll a d6 in addition. Okay. So I'm
so
gonna say
6 plus strength.
because what
That's
is
what
your
it
strength
says.
say?
Strength is it says D12 plus 2.
Yeah, so you add 2 to whatever that is, which includes
Okay,
that
cool.
4. So you have a total of 6, which is enough to attack this creature. So go ahead and roll damage.
All right. Let me see how to do that. How do you do that?
The weapon should tell you what the damage is.
Okay, so
And
that
you
was
also-
actually damage. So I should have rolled a D12 plus 2. So I did not do that correctly.
Oh, I gotcha. I mean, you can roll a d12. Whatever
And
it
then
is,
I'll
it
just
won't
and
be
then
worse.
yeah. So 8, and then I'll just use that 6 damage that I rolled earlier.
Yeah.
That was the actual I rolled damage.
And what weapon are you using?
Built-in vibro longsword. Just like a big sword just comes out of my arm. Seems
built-
like
Did you make that up, or is that part of your character?
that's my one of my weapons.
Okay, I'm just not noticing my weapon, so I didn't know if that was something you added, or maybe I'm screwing something
It's
up.
like, which guy are you? Mind Melder?
Mm-hmm. It says I can use pretty crude weapons. I didn't know how to equip them.
Um,
You have a laser pistol.
Okay, all right. All right, so you definitely hit, so there's no problem with that. Go ahead and roll damage, and if you're using a melee weapon, you always also add strength. So you roll strength, you roll your weapon damage, and they all actually get to add together. So you can get pretty brutal.
Oh, really? I roll my strength again.
Yes.
D12
You don't get the wild dice on damage dice, but you do get to roll the weapon damage and your strength damage all together. So I see your strength, that's 10. Go ahead and roll the
Okay, so that was the what was it again? D. Sorry, there it is. Oh, so plus a D10 it says.
okie dokie. So go ahead and roll that.
So 12 total.
All right. So you have inflicted 1 wound on this creature. When you've inflicted, well, actually, I'm sorry, Jen. For minions, do you have to do 3 to defeat them?
Yes.
Okay.
Not necessarily. It depends on their strength, like their toughness. 3 wounds may not defeat them, but in order, like they're gonna have to soak or shake wounds to get rid of them.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'll say that you do 1, and that's not enough to kill it. So it is in a bad shape, though. Let's see. We're just gonna kind of put a dot on there to signify 1 wound. Okay. And that was Ron Borg. Terry, it is your turn.
All right, you guys are gonna really have to bear with me on this one. This might not be the game I should have started a caster in. So I have a power called Puppet, and I don't know what it does, but I'm assuming what it does. How do I find out what my spells do?
So you've got your character sheet with all the numbers and everything, but if you get to the character sheet that kind of gives you an explanation of like who you are, that also has the explanation for like what your powers do.
So it
I
says,
also have a Savage Worlds manual if you want.
yeah, I might need that because I have this. It says I have Mind Melters have a definitive list of psychic powers with access to the following rank permitting, and then it lists a shit ton. And one of them is called Puppet, and that's in my powers list as well.
So that must be specific to Rift because it's not in this.
Yeah, give me a quick second and I will figure that out for you.
I don't even know if I want to use it, but I assume I do.
So yeah, it looks like your power. You have protection, puppet, smite, stun, telekinesis.
Yeah, so those were just already added in there.
Yeah, those are yours.
Yeah, they're all of our characters are basically already.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I have like a huge list up above.
Oh, holy cow, you are not mistaken. And so most of the other characters are like, okay, this is what this does, this is what this does. It looks like yours is okay. There's a very, very loose kind of explanation, but basically an opposed spirit roll to control them. So I'm going to say that if you spend those points and if you win on a spirit roll, that they then you get to make them do one thing, like for their next action.
Okay, what do I spirit roll? It's where do I
So
find
your spirit is D8. So you're gonna roll a
got it.
D8 with a D6.
a D8 with a D6? Just so I know, why am I rolling a D6 with it?
Because every roll you make, with the exception of damage rolls, you get a wild dice.
Oh,
and that's a good thing because you can take the higher of the two.
Okay, my D8 got a 4 and my 6 got a 3.
All right, let's see. This guy is rolling and he rolled a 5, so he did beat you, which means that your effect does not go off.
Okay.
Now here's where you could use a Benny to re-roll, and that might get you a better outcome if you want.
I would do that, but I've listened to the video, but I forgot how you get a Benny. Isn't it with a Joker?
No,
You can get a
already
Benny
have
with a
Benny.
Joker. You get 3 at the start of the session, and
Okay.
they're use them or lose them. It's kind of like the inspiration for D&D.
Okay.
So I mean, if you're at the end of the session and you haven't used them, then there's no point to have
Well-
had saved them.
I suppose I'll use it anyway. So that's just re-rolling the D8.
Both of them. You get to re-roll both.
Oh, okay. So I got a 7 and a 6.
Hey, and
Is
that
the
6 you
on
could
your
re-roll it.
D6?
Yeah, the 6 is on the D6, so I re-roll that one.
You get to re-roll that and add your next thing to 6.
All right, so I got a 2.
So you get an 8, which is
Which is
better.
still
and,
good. Yeah.
Okay.
and that's a raise on a 4.
That's
Okay.
correct. So, and that's good. So you now get to control this creature for 2 turns.
Okay. Do I wait until its turn or do I utilize
Yeah.
it?
And which one did you go for? Did you go for this guy here or did you go for this guy here?
I went for the one that was like stunned.
Yeah.
Or is that the one that Ron already put damage onto?
Yeah. Yeah. This one has damage and stun.
Yeah, then I want to control it.
Okay. So when its turn comes back around, which is it's going to be after Maynard, then you will get to make it do a thing.
Oh,
And then so I presume that that's your turn.
I assume so.
BL Juice, it is your turn.
All right, I'm gonna go after the one outside the box,
Okay.
and
What would you like to do to it?
I'm going to whip out my Uzi and say hello to my little friend. And so that I go to my skills, right, of shooting, and that's a D10.
Yeah.
And then don't forget to roll that D6. So you guys are going to get sick and tired of me saying that, but
And
will
what's
take-
what's the D6 for? That's just always the
it's called the wild dice. Basically, it's like because you guys are collectively Billy badasses.
oh okay.
That's like an extra like if you roll bad on your first roll, that one could be better.
Okay.
So it's always this kind of like weird dice insurance is what I kind of think of it as.
Okay, that's a good
And
idea.
either one of those dice can explode. So either one of those, if it hits its max, you can keep rolling and adding the points.
Correct.
Okay.
And you can keep doing that if you roll max. So if you roll 6, 6, 6, 6, and it keeps going, then you're just adding more and more and more, which doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I've never played Savage Worlds before, but I have played with the exploding dice, and it's a magical feeling. So you do though, you hit that creature. What is the damage you have on it? On your weapon?
It is a 2d6.
And that's for a ranged weapon, right?
Yes, and that grants me, and then targeting eye grounds +2 to all shooting rolls for weapons. No
Oh, nice.
ones take a round to calibrate.
cool.
I don't
Cool,
know what
those
that
little-
means.
Yeah, no worries there. Go ahead and roll that 2d6. And by the way, damage dice also explode. So okay, 7.
Okay, cool.
You managed to do
Plus that 2 from my targeting eye.
that works. So basically, the way damage works, and I'm sorry I didn't explain this earlier for when other people were doing it. It's like damage. You roll an amount, and if that amount is over their toughness, you do a wound.
Okay. I gotcha.
So it's not like you do 7 damage or 9 damage. It's more like you hit a threshold, and you take a wound off, and it's the same for
Okay.
y'all.
Awesome.
But anyhow, so yeah, these guys have a wound, and creatures generally have like between 1 and 3 wound points before they're defeated. But okay, we go there, and then this guy here is not happy that you shot him, so he's going to come over here, and he's going to try and hit you. And what is your parry? It may not be very high. Or
Where
I'm
do-
sorry, he's attacking Betelgeuse, but yes.
Where do I see that?
It should be on your character sheet, kind of like upper middle area.
Mine's right underneath.
Oh,
the
parry,
shirt.
4.
4. So that means that you just barely managed to parry his attack, which you just, I don't know what you're wielding as a weapon, probably like your rifle or whatever.
My Uzi, yeah.
So you probably just bat his hand away with the butt of your Uzi expertly, which looks really cool. So that was all that he did, and Maynard, it is now your turn once again. You were muted, Maynard.
I'm assuming my gun is fixed, and I kind of envisioned my super laser pistol that I put into this little modular vehicle
Mm-hmm.
becomes equally modular and kind of becomes like a mounted rifle that I kind of lean into. Not full turret, but you know.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how to make that work, although it does say as part of the MacGyver action I took, a critical failure means I wouldn't have the right materials. Success creates a minor explosive, a one-shot projectile like a zip gun or whatever this might be. And then furthermore, a raise creates a larger explosive, a better ranged weapon, 5 shots, 2d8 damage, range, and 20/40.
And remind me what you rolled on that. Like, what was your roll?
So I didn't roll. I noticed that.
Go ahead and roll now, because that's going to determine how well it goes.
And what do I use my smarts, which is a D10?
And then make sure that you do your D6 for the wild dice as well. Like I said, you guys are going to get sick of me telling you that, but I'm going to keep telling you, don't forget.
That Seamus, your guy has a bunch of cool weapons.
So a 6 on my D10 and a 1 on my D6.
All right. So you do get a success, and you get your laser rifle mounted on. It's not a raise. A raise would have been an 8, and then another raise would have been at 12. So it's all the factors of 4, if you will. But you do connect your laser gun to like as a turret, and I will let you do one of two things. I will either let you draw on the nuclear power that powers your vehicle and make the shot more powerful, or I will let it kind of use computer targeting and like do multi shots. I will let you choose which one you would prefer.
So my cybernetics, I've got a core electronics package as well as an optics package. So I'm going to kind of leverage an interface between the two for a multi-shot.
Do it. So basically, I'm going to say, normally we would go on the weapons rate of fire, but I'm going to give it a rate of fire of 3. So roll 3 attacks.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember when you make multiple attacks, I think the wild dice works differently.
Okay.
It's like those in the weed moments.
Where do I
don't know, honestly.
Where do I see where my
So you should have like a shooting skill, and then that will determine what your attack is.
Perfect. D8. Thank you for that. There's 1. There's my 2 and 3.
Okay, and then give me one quick moment while I bring up the rules on multi-fire. Let's see. Okay. All right, sorry, y'all. Aim, defend, distracted, drop, evasion. Stun, sport, specifier, surprise, test, touch, 2 weapon. Wild attack. Injury table, reaction bennies. So we've been sticking to kind of the shallow end of this with most of the things that we've been doing. But there's definitely like a level of complexity to this game where it's like if you really go into some of the crazy stuff, then it gets a little outrageous, so to speak. It's all good.
I'm
But-
googling it too. Yeah.
Let's see. Extreme range, the drop, distract, defend, disarm. Sorry, and I always like talking to myself, so
That's fine.
just ignore me.
I like
Uh,
listening to you talk yourself.
I'm assuming found a Reddit feed, multi-attack with a bow as part of the Savage World. I'm assuming it's a similar. Oh, this is Suede rules.
That's what this is, though. It's
Okay,
Savage
cool.
World Adventure Edition.
Oh, I got it.
And I need to buy the book because I'm so much better with like something that I can have in my hands. Like I'm going through some of these with the enemies and stuff, which is really cool. But it's kind of a bummer not having like the actual Savage World rules like in front of me in paper form, because I would feel way better about like thumbing through and figuring out stuff.
So I do have the Adventure Edition book, and I have it here if you want me to look something up.
Let me think. I've got my PDF open and I'm hopefully going to get this mystery solved soon-ish. Although I will say I'm glad we're doing this now, because my hope is that next session is going to go like much smoother, but that's all to be expected. And then we'll get into kind of more the meat and potatoes of how I want to, like the story that I'm trying to tell, which is all good. All cool. We're all fine here. How are you?
Great.
Let's
Great.
see.
That's good. I mean, we have to figure it out, and we're all learning. It's fine.
Yeah. I think
Um,
the favorite part so far is that I'm a blind guy and I'm carrying a pistol.
Yes.
Well, do you
Got it.
have any kind of psionic powers or some kind of sight through magic?
I was assuming so. I need to really do more research. I came ill prepared. So I just have to do some more research. I didn't even know I had a character sheet, to be honest, until I logged in. I didn't even notice that.
Okay. I've got it. I found it. So Maynard, I want you to roll 3 shooting dice. Sorry, Maynard, I want you to roll
Got
3
it.
shooting dice,
I heard you. Okay, cool.
or 2, or however many you want to do.
I did just do that.
Oh, cool. And
so I
you
got a
can roll.
2. Go ahead.
You can roll 1 wild dice and assign it to any of those.
Okay, with the wild dice assigned, I rolled a 5, 4, and a 5. No, I rolled a 2, a 4, and an 8.
All right. So I will say the 8 hit. The other ones did not, unfortunately, but go ahead and roll your damage for that 1 hit.
Four from my
Does
D8.
your laser pistol only do the D8 of damage?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I just did a shooting one, and you're right. So it's not the raised one, which meant it is just my quote unquote zip gun, which is 2d6. So
Go ahead and roll
with that,
damage
we
for that.
got 6.
Okay. So you do that, and that is enough to do the second wound to it, which also is enough to take it out. So you shot directly through its chest, and it kind of gurgles and reaches out, like it puts its hand on your skull and like tries to exert some force to like crush your skull, but like then just falls over limp and dead.
So are the eyeballs intact by chance?
Yes.
I'm just joking.
So then we get to the other of these crystalline demons. And it, I think, has to try and make a toughness roll to not be stunned anymore.
I think it's vigor.
vigor. All right. So we'll say this guy's pretty tough. And wow. All right. So I will say he is no longer stunned. I think that's its action though.
So with that one unstunned, do I still have puppet over it?
Actually, yes, I forgot about that. So yes, you can make it do whatever you want to now.
I mean,
You can make it punch itself in the face if
I
you.
was just thinking, can I just like have it run off a cliff anywhere around us?
I mean, the cliffs aren't terribly tall around here, but like, let's say nearby, there's like the remains of a big building, and you could have it like run head first into it so that it collapses on them.
You know what? I'll just have it lay down, just so it's sort of prone and not doing anything.
All right,
And then
you can
people-
absolutely do that.
yeah, take their just beat this thing on the ground, I guess.
All right, so that is what you have it do. So totally. All right, Tomiko, what would you like to do?
So it's just laying down now?
Mm-hmm. I would give you +2 on attacks against it
I was
because
gonna say, so I think it gets +2 because it's prone. They don't call it prone, but yeah, whatever. So I'm gonna use the stun again, and I figured out where the PPE are on the character sheet,
yeah.
and I just can keep track of them that way. I don't wanna alter the character sheet, but I'll keep track of it in the chat, but then,
Yeah.
so I'm down to 13 PPE. I'm gonna use 2 more to stun it
Cool.
again.
And then you roll. He doesn't roll, right?
Yeah, actually, since it's down and I get a +2, so I don't have shooting prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be only a D4, but I get a +1 and then I get a +2 because he's prone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna shoot him.
Go for it.
So I'm just gonna roll the D4 and it's gonna be +3, and I think that is correct.
Yes, and don't forget your wild dice.
Yes. Oh, just one, sorry.
That would have been pretty good. But no, the first shot is enough to hit. So go ahead and roll your damage.
I don't know what I do that it always double rolls my dice, but that's okay. My damage is 3d6. So if you want to,
I'll allow you to take that first D6 because it was a max. And then you just roll another 2d6.
well, except that if it's a max, it's going to explode.
Right.
That would be separate from the other two. So,
Yeah.
All right. So if that's my first one, I'm going to roll that one again. So that's an 11. And then
Yep.
here's the other two. Oh,
Oh, so
That's-
now you're rolling another
so
2
now we're up
dice.
to 20
Uh-huh.
and then 2. So 22 for damage.
All right, so I
Nice.
want you to tell me how this like you're kind of like, you know, not super skilled with a gun, but you tell me how you expertly executed this demon.
Well, because she is a mystic and she can call on certain perception and awareness,
Mhm.
and the crystalline thing is prone. So she is able to take that gun and shoot it straight into its little crystal, not brain, demon heart, and it shatters.
Absolutely, and you do that. In fact, so impressive this kill is that what this creature leaves behind is what appears to be like a pulsing diamond, and you're not sure what it is, but you have a feeling that it has some kind of an innate power. If you are willing to trust something that came from a demon.
Can I use what do I have? So can I do a notice roll to see what I can learn about it because of
Sure.
my stuff? Is it? So again, I have a D6 and it's +2 on my notice rolls. So it just goes up to a 6, but that's not exploding because it wasn't a roll of a 6.
And did you roll your wild dice along with that?
I did not. So still a 6.
Right on. Excellent. But no, you believe that this is normally when you kill demons, they just kind of release their energy and it just kind of dissipates into some people are able to like harness that energy at the moment of death. But this is like a crystallized form of it. Like, you know, not to be corny because it's a crystal demon, but literally it's like its death energy is contained. You can crush this and gain more like psionic or and more ISP or PPE, and we'll just call it a D4 of points whenever you do so.
Demon
So
drugs.
it's like energy battery.
Okay, yeah, because I'm down to. No, it took them out. I'm down to 13 PPE, so I'll roll a D4 to get more back.
Do you want to crush it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get 3 back. Or I was down to, it started at 50. I don't know what it started at because now it's.
I think it was 15, and then you were down to 11, if I'm not
11.
mistaken.
So now it's back up to 14.
Correct. But to be completely honest, for being the first combat we've done in this system, that I've done in the system, I'm impressed. Like we did really well. It wasn't like I've been in combats where it's like, okay, all right, hold on, let me look at the book again. Wait, all right, sorry, but no, okay, no, we got to go back 2 turns because I did something wrong. No, I've been in like way bigger plotting issues with combats. This is kind of neat. I like it. Let's see. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I see where the wounds thing is on the right side.
Yeah, and then as you all get wounded, you'll get penalties as well. So it's like you don't just like walk around with like big gaping wounds and act at max. Like you'll get minus negative for each wound, and you can operate at 3 wounds. But if you take more wounds after that, then you start you could potentially die or be like knocked out or whatever. And we're talking like
You can shake. You can try and unshake, and you can try and soak wounds. So that's like like you roll to try to heal the wound.
And doing that requires bennies, is that right?
Not in my experience, but it may in this game. And I'm also a healer, guys. Like one of the reasons I picked it is she heals. So
I don't think anyone took damage though, is that right?
no, but just for future.
Yeah, I'm also a healer, kind of. I think.
Why don't you heal your eyesight then?
I don't see it as a disability, bro. As I'm like yelling at Ron.
A tree.
I don't see any healing on yours.
There's
well, if
there's
you,
this.
oh, go ahead.
You
Oh, I was
first.
just saying, like, I'm just looking at rank permitting. I have arcane protection, barrier, blind, ironic blind, bolt, booster, lower trait, confusion, damage field, dark side, deflection, disguise. Oh my God. But anyway, you go on, and then about 5 rows down, it has healing.
So listen, if you have dark sight, you're not completely blind.
Oh, good to know.
And
But
by
also,
the way,
what are you
like,
looking at?
If you go to my
his character sheet.
Yeah, if you go to the character sheet and you go not to like the place with all the stats, you go to the place right above.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It says like you have all these things, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I have to like equip them or what's going on with that. I need to learn. I'll figure this out.
But yeah, like there's actually a book with all of the, like normally most of the powers are like, okay, you do this or you do this. But this book has like all of the granulated stuff for like, all of that. But I'll share that out with you all at some point in the near future for the next session and what have you. But no, it makes me think of like an old Beavis and Butthead cartoon. Like the kids have to go clean up the Beavis and Butthead, they have to go clean up a highway. And they're riding in the back of this van with like some nerds. And the nerds are like, well, if you had the choice to give Jordy back his sight or like make Data feel human emotion, what would you do? And then like they're arguing back and forth, and it's like, well, Jordy doesn't like care that he doesn't have his sight. Like he just goes along with it. And then there's like Data never felt what it was like to be human, so he wouldn't miss it if he didn't have it. And it's just like the geekiest conversation.
That's awesome.
But there was,
And they like start shoving each other because they're getting mad at what each other's saying.
there was a 2 or a 3-part episode series where Data did get the human emotion chip and he turned evil.
But yeah, anyhow, sorry, that was just me digressing like you. You have a pretty clear path forward, and as you kind of crest into the concrete jungle from the wilderness, you manage to see off in the distance the downed transport. They call these Death's Head transports because they're these kind of cylindrical shaped hover vehicles that have like this skull motif on the front. And it is definitely crash landed. It definitely seems like it's been cracked open, and you can definitely tell that like people have egress from it and kind of sought refuge nearby. Like you kind of are piecing together exactly what happened here as you kind of get closer to the transport itself.
Are we in the truck?
What's that?
Are we in
I would say
Maynard's truck?
you're probably like on like the E mode of this vehicle as you're just kind of quietly making
Okay.
your way.
So usually I fit it to fit about 3 comfortably, but people can definitely crawl on it.
Yeah, I'm sure that
standing
there,
on the outside.
yeah, people are like sitting on top of or hanging off of and so on.
I'm skitching.
Quick, nice, awesome. Quick definition question here: is an encounter battle specific?
It doesn't have to be. So let's say that you were playing a game and you have some kind of a verbal altercation with some group. Maybe they are philosophically diametrically opposed to you, and you have a quick philosophical word battle, and I would count that as an encounter. Just as an example.
Can I use this? I packed up my car, and can I do a quick scavenger encounter action?
Yeah, absolutely.
Once
Especially if you want to scavenge the Death's Head transport.
because we're in an urban area, you said?
A decayed urban area, but
Decayed
yes.
urban area, yeah.
This is like a Pompeii style or like ruins. It's not like
to increase the size or any capacity of my little kind of ATV, scavenger is once per encounter the hero may find, suddenly remember, or dig up much needed piece of equipment, handful of ammunition, or some other useful advice. The GM decides what constitutes an encounter and has the final word on what can be. Oh, I guess I'm sorry. I didn't mean scavenger. I meant scrounger.
Sure.
I'm a scrounger as well.
Some people are just very skilled at knowing how to find what they need in an urban setting. They know where to look, who to talk to, and how to get what the group needs.
Cool.
Scrounger can roll to network once per session.
Now, network would happen if there was like a population center and you don't want to interact with this population center.
Got it.
But if you want to scrounge, you absolutely can.
Okay.
And that goes for all of you. If you want to make, if you are a scrounger and you want to make that roll, go ahead and feel free to make that roll now.
Cool. I'm looking to see what the role would be.
Yeah, me too.
If it isn't super clear, I would just go with smarts.
It keeps
And so beat L Juice, that is a raise. So I will say that amongst the Death's Head transport, you find Coalition States laser rifle. And if you, I don't know if you want to write this down, but I can tell you what all its stats are.
Yes, sir.
Maynard, same thing, and y'all don't forget to roll your wild dice because you never know. You could always get something radically awesome. Although your rolls are actually really good.
Yeah, that was not a good one.
11.
Not super great, but you never know. Let's see. Do you want Maynard? Do you want more like you find a cool thing, or do you want more like you discover something?
I want to discover materials.
Materials.
I'm
gonna
looking
say-
to outfitting stuff, retrofitting stuff, so forth.
I'm gonna say that you find a data pad that belongs to someone who is on board of this thing, and you think that it was like their like kind of like the transport mechanic.
Okay. I am going to check its power source. I put kind of my what's it called? I put my universal jack to it and see if it detects any voltage, amperage, resistance, any of its electronics still intact.
Yeah, absolutely. It boots up and everything.
Cool.
There is, however, a password like encryption protection.
Okay. I start
So
to
that- but like you can periodically like see if you can crack the information on there. Sorry, give me 1 second. 3d6 plus 1 damage. I'm just writing down what the Coalition States rifle is. Rate of fire 2. AP 2. 30 shots. E-clip is basically just like the energy canister that goes into these weapons. So,
Okay.
but that's the CS rifle that you find. All right. So does anyone want to investigate this area? I guess that would be a notice roll.
Yes.
By all means.
So what is my notice again? My notice. So I'm rolling D8 and wild dice. Ooh.
That's not bad though.
Well, because I get a +2 on the
Mhm.
6, which should be a raise, but
Yeah, absolutely. So you managed to find what appears to be a trail of some kind of liquid. It's not blood. It seems like viscous, like some kind of oil, and it seems to leave a trail. And this trail goes into, I'm going to say what used to be a parking garage nearby. It's this parking garage, for whatever reason, seems to have been made relatively structurally sound and is still standing after all this time.
okay.
So are you all on board with following this trail? Thankfully, there don't seem to be any demons in the immediate vicinity. You do see kind of like some flying creatures off in the distance. They seem to be doing some patrols, but you think you're safe for now, at least. You all make your way into this parking garage. You follow the trail of grease that has been kind of left in Hansel and Gretel style droplets here and there, and you finally get to what is kind of like a maintenance closet towards like the sub basement, and you're pretty sure there's something behind that door, but it is shut.
Is there any control panel or anything that we could see?
For what it's worth, this seems to be a relatively mundane door. It's like a door with a handle. It's not like a keypad or anything.
I just knock and I say, "Hey, is Dave home?"
There's no answer.
So we're at a door, and I wonder if I have some sort of thing to see if I can figure out if anything's on the other side of this door.
I can definitely kick it in.
Okay. Can I use, wait. Oh God, I can't probably use like a mind reading as like kind of an AoE, can I?
You know what'll allow you to do that? You're a powerful psychic being. So
Okay.
go ahead and roll me spirit, I guess is what you would probably do for that.
Okay, I can read it. Let's see. Mind reading, oppose smarts roll to read mind.
Oh, smarts. Yeah, that works.
Okay. I was like-
Just roll smarts and don't forget to roll your wild dice.
And that's a D8 plus a D6, correct? Okay. So we got a D8 and then a D6.
Hey, whoa!
So both.
Wow.
Andre is reborn.
You roll again.
Yeah, roll both of
Roll.
those again.
Both of those again.
Yeah. You just double ace, bro.
Still, okay,
Wow.
so this feeling is disorienting. Number one, you feel that within about 200 yards, there is so you feel these two things. Within 200 yards, you feel something alien, like a weird kind of static group of brains that are approaching. They're not demons, but they seem to be these weird, like kind of like if someone could think in Morse code. That's kind of what these people are thinking. But then whatever's inside of this closet is a thinking being, but whatever is in here, it thinks so much more, so much faster, and so much better than anything you've ever read. Like this thing thinks like a 1,000 brains working in unison.
So there's the one super thinker right behind this door, and then I have also picked up other things in the vicinity. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, about 5 of them, and they're coming towards you.
Okay, they're coming towards us through this door or from a different direction?
From they're like not in the parking structure. They're like outside of it, but they're making their way towards you.
I'm gonna tell our big tank to kick that door down.
Okay. Done deal.
And Terry, can I ask you a question? Do you have the ability to interface with just organic brains, or can you also do it with like computer brains, AI, and other artificial thinking devices?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know.
I'm sure we have the power to know.
Yeah.
That's probably like an existential question that I don't think this game really answers. Necessarily. But I will say the way that I'm running it in my version of this is that yes, you can interact as long as it is sentient. You can interact with it in the sense of like reading its mind and so on.
So I'm
I
gonna
put
say,
my tinfoil hat on anyway, just to be safe.
so yeah, I'm gonna tell him that this thing thinks really quick, probably alien or tech that's beyond what we are, and I think it's inform everybody, the people around us, but tell Ron that it's probably good that we go interact with this thing and get the flying dick out of here.
Yeah. So Ron, you don't have to roll to bust this door down. It's a relatively simple procedure, and you're made out of some of the strongest alloys known to man. So you kick this door in, and it's just this little tiny maintenance closet, and it's pretty grody, and it's just seen 300 years of wear and tear. But in a corner, you see Tevis Francois Jr., and he is nursing what appears to be a wound that is leaking fluid. Again, very, very oily, kind of mechanical fluid, and also is missing a limb. but instead of seeing like a bloody stump, there's wires and they're kind of like sparking a little. This, whatever Tevis is, he is certainly mechanical in nature.
Excuse me, sorry.
And it's a foregone conclusion. He of course notices you, and he's kind of like using his battered legs to kind of scooch himself away from you, just in a defensive maneuver. Even though he's apparently some kind of a mechanical being, he has the emotions and reactions of like a thinking, like, you know, a sentient being.
Can
Okay,
I
I'm gonna say hello, sir.
Yeah.
I came here to save you and try and pick him up.
But wait, what? Who sent you?
The coalition.
He it's hard for him to look shocked because he doesn't have like you can't see like the blood running out of his face or anything, but he's you can tell that he's not comfortable with that idea, and he says, I won't be taken by the coalition. I may not know much about them, but I know that they would exploit me.
Why do you think they would be after you?
Why are you after me?
Aren't
We
you
were
a
hired by them.
senator?
And they didn't say anything about, well, they probably didn't tell you much.
We were under the impression that this was just a simple rescue mission and that you were of their ilk and on their side.
What are you hiding from in this closet then?
If I told you, it would endanger all of your lives, potentially for as long as you lived.
I've known less days with my life safe than I've have in danger. That doesn't scare me at all.
He tells
Where
that
you-
to everyone, don't worry.
Where's your family, sir?
My family is up above.
I'm going to ask him, do you know that you're a robot?
Yes. Yes, I do. It's a long story. Let me tell you the short version. I was a person much like yourselves. I think much like yourselves. You're humans, all of you, right?
More or less.
Used to be.
Okay. Well, you, and he points to you, Ron, or gestures to you, and he says, you probably understand this better than anyone. I dedicated my mind to the machine. There's nothing left of my organic form, but my mind, and he kind of like pokes his metallic head through the squishy kind of fake skin and hair on his head, and he says, my mind exists here. What it meant to be me is in this metallic shell. I've been wandering the stars for 300 years, I think, in search of something important. And I beamed myself down onto this planet in hopes that I can figure this out. I need to find a satellite relay station. If I don't, then it'll be too late.
Can I use a mind link with this guy to kind of get his vibe of, as far as like trustworthiness? Like,
I mean,
legit?
you don't. So let's say that you do that to kind of get a better gauge, but let me see. You probably want to do. I'm still kind of getting the hang of these skills.
Yeah, I also, tell me if I'm just overusing it. I haven't like used
No,
it a
it's
lot.
good. You're like a super awesome, amazing psychic guy. That's kind of your shtick. Shoot.
You just got to find all the young mutants, Luscious.
I'm just gonna have you roll a psionics. So roll that D8 because I'm looking at your character sheet. Roll the D8 and roll your D6 for your wild dice and see if you can use your like amazing mind skills to. Yeah, I'll say you feel like he's hiding things. He's not telling you everything, and he's got this amazing multifaceted brain that is hard to read. But at least on the surface, you can tell that he's being he's being honest. He's telling you, like, what he's telling you is truthful. He's just obscuring a lot of details, but he doesn't seem to be in this for any kind of evil intentions. He wants to do something, and he seems to have his heart set on it, but he's not seeking to harm anyone.
So I don't trust the coalition any more than anybody else here, and I'm not really in it for the monies, but I say regardless of where we take you after this place, we got to get out of here. We're on borrowed time in this storage closet.
Why did they hire us to bring you back and not kill you if you're some sort of enemy of theirs?
I think they want to exploit him.
I have something that they want, and that's all I will tell you.
Seems a bit suspect that they wouldn't just immediately assume that we would have found out that you're not in collaboration with them.
About that time, and you're 100% correct, like the coalition has already outright lied to you about this whole thing. But about that time, you hear some heavy footsteps coming down from above. They don't seem to be demonic in origin, but you can feel or you can hear this kind of metal on concrete stamp as 5 beings are making their way towards you. Now you can try and avoid them, or you can try and confront them. It's up to you. You don't know what they are. It could be an armored coalition states patrol. It could be some other, it could be more androids, but these things are coming your way, and they'll be there very quickly.
So
Is there room enough in the closet for all of us?
Like if people are hanging off at the side, but if it would take some tricky driving to get around these guys before they come down to you, whoever is coming down.
I'm in it with Beetle, and I say I'm kind of in the hide with the robot.
Yeah, we're like, let's
Francois, what do you think?
get out of there.
So are you guys gonna try and hide or leave?
Oh,
I vote hide.
I have 1 for hide.
Let's
So
hide.
leave.
I say
Okay.
I'm gonna go leave as well. It makes sense. And
Yeah, I'm on leave.
Leave.
we can.
Anybody else for hide?
We can leave, but if we just stay for a few more moments, I can hook up an audible device so we can hear what came and possibly what they're talking about. It has a relative range, but we should have it for a while.
How long
Maynard,
does it
I would
take?
say that you could drop a bug
Yeah.
like easily, just boom, and then get out of here.
All right, let's do it.
And I'm not going to make anyone roll for like getting out of here quietly. I'll say that you find like a access exit that you kind of leave from. But you are driving away again in E mode because so you're super quiet, and you hear as the footsteps get louder and get closer to your bug, and they don't seem to notice, and they just say, "The subject is nowhere to be found. We need to secure him quickly. If he falls into enemy hands, we may have to call in a strike." And then they start double timing it out of there. So I want to leave it off on that, where you are driving out and trying to figure out where to go next. And also trying to figure out who are these people who are following you? What do they want? Are they coalition? Are they something else? All of that will be revealed next week as we continue on this adventure that I'm not going to name because I want you to find out at the end.
Ooh,
Nice.
cool. Nice.
Oh man.
That was fun.
Yeah, I need to update my skills at this game because I was lost for a few of those things. No, this is a good time.
No, and we're like most of us are learning this, and thanks Jen for filling in the blanks for a lot of this stuff. And sorry that I stepped away on the phone, but
No. I don't even, and y'all, I don't really get it all that much. I've just been playing the other games. I at least know how the roles work. That's about it.
Yeah, I listened to that when I was driving, and that probably wasn't the best time.
but
Ish, can you explain briefly and all? I only read the first little bit, and I will read all of it.
Mhm.
prior to next session. The coalition was one of the sides in the war, correct?
In fact, they were
In the
so it's like
Tolkien
the
War?
Coalition versus Tolkien. And it was those two aggressors. And specifically the coalition states was like, nope, we're gonna go and destroy you because you're magic and we hate that. And Tolkien was nominally like the kind of they were just there. They didn't aggress, they didn't make war with the coalition. The coalition brought the war to them. And
And the coalition is a united state of nations and planets, and or just
planets.
on this one. on Earth.
Yeah, just on this world. So this is Earth. It's Earth like 500 years ahead of our future or of our present day. One important thing to note is that there's actually no space travel. The world as it is now is blanketed on the outside of like in space by so many satellites that it's impossible to get through. And that will come up next time. But there's no space travel. Everything's locked in. The only way to get off of this planet is through rifts, which happen very, very regularly. But the coalition states are a conglomerate of different states and city states and so on that are kind of banded together, which includes Lone Star, which is what used to be Texas. It includes a couple of other places like Ironheart, which I think is what used to be Michigan, and Free Quebec, which had previously seceded and I think is back. I'll have to look into that. But anyways, it's this big group and they're all human fascists. The coalition state is comprised by a majority of human fascists who are like, humans are the best and we need to reclaim this planet, and anyone who's not a human can eat lead, and we're going to make the planet Earth great again. But I don't like the way that this setting 20 years ago painted the coalition as like the good guys, and they still kind of do. They're fascists. They are techno-fascists who want to control the planet and kill everything that doesn't look like them. And there are a lot of people who paint them as good guys, and they're not. There's good.
The impression I got from the background is that, like all fascists, like the good guy element to them is that they more or less did save things when everything got fucked up initially. Like, because they were a strong, dictatorial, I don't want to say government yet, but like entity, they were able to kick ass and make people and help people survive. They were able to set up, stringent things that allowed people to get through it. But then, like all fascists, then now they are far more dangerous than helpful. But that element, just like Mussolini, just like Hitler, just like the big three in Argentina, like initially they did help people, and that's why people follow them.
Absolutely. And they continue to help people. That's not that's certainly true. But yeah, they certainly have some very dangerous policies that if you don't line up with who they are and what they are, they will kill you, or they will marginalize you. And they just wiped the city off of the map in like the last 5 years to prove that, because they weren't okay with the fact that they were magicians. And the worst part about all of that is the Free Quebec, who seceded from the coalition states, and I think are back, are worse. They're even more xenophobic and supremacist than the coalition states in general. That was part of the reason they seceded. So it's this whole thing.
We all know Canadians are.
Yeah, typical
French. The French Canadians.
It would be kind of mean for them to put that on the Free Quebec, but it has been 300 years, so I guess that you can't blame it on them. Anyways, so no,
It's a
I have
cool
a lot of
world.
strong opinions about this game that I could go on all night about. But like, it's a really, really cool setting, and like the lore goes, as deep as the Marianas Trench, in which there's a giant squid that can get you from 500 miles away. That's another story for another time. I hope you all had fun.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
awesome.
ahead and stop the stream. I'm really looking